just want to start and say, I think this issue of language is so fascinating because I think language can be an opening or a closing, right? Language can be an opening, right? Curiosity, or it can be a closing, right? It can immediately, right? Oh, you're over there because you use this word and you're not with me. And therefore we're separate and we're adversaries. And that I see language play that role a lot. I see the language play that role a lot actually with, I work with incredible social activists who are amazing and brilliant in doing work and who often, right, quickly close up when they hear language. And I see other people, right, in the community who actually, right, want to see change happen. And they also quickly close up when they hear language, sometimes from activists that they don't know or understand or fully integrate. And so I'm also really curious about that idea of language. So much Jewish tradition is about hearing different voices, thinking about our tradition and our culture. So, we often talk about Judaism as we're the people of the book, but our books actually have multiple layers of voices within them. So there can be, somebody speaking, and saying their opinion, and then there can be a very different opinion after that. And then even on the side, and I'm thinking kind of a book of Talmud, which is kind of oral tradition that was ultimately written down. There's also other opinions digging into questions differently and applying it to the time. And one of the things that I love to think about, because a lot of those voices actually are white men from a particular time, is how that's actually a framework for us now in our time to add many, many, many different voices. And so what I often say to the people I work with is your voice belongs on that page. Let's put it on that page. What are you thinking about this verse, about this issue, about this challenge? And it's okay to disagree.
Wen-hao, I would just build on what Cheryl said. Much of this ancient tradition really consists, the element of it for the sages of that time, 1,000 or so years ago, was like, write down every disagreement. Like if we have a policy that says when somebody does something wrong, here is how he should be punished, then it'll say, this rabbi says that this is what that means. But no, this rabbi says it means something different. And sometimes in the text, they'll reach a conclusion or they'll decide who's the more important person. And they'll say that's the person determining the outcome. And sometimes you just go in and you see, oh, there's the disagreement. This was a healthy exchange of views. And the one thing I would add to what Cheryl said is not only are these disagreements written down, but there is a Jewish tradition called Havruta, where you study with one other person. And the whole idea is that two people studying a text or a law or some era in history will bring different perspectives, and the perspectives ought to be there. And just to throw it into a contemporary issue, one of the things that many of us in the Jewish community are doing right now, when our community becomes concerned, as they should, about the rise of anti-Semitism, we're trying to get them to understand that the rise of anti-Semitism, the rise of attacks on the Asian American Pacific Islander community, the increase in expressions of racism and racist hate, that these are all different people experiencing the same kind of division, otherness, and hate crimes. Basically, if we're going to stop some of this, we're going to need to work together across apparent lines of difference to try to create a more tolerant society.
That's wonderful. I don't find my being in this group is accidental, because in my 25 years of careers in global studies, in humanities studies, studying the world, there's so many professors, renowned scholars, with a Jewish background, who I really admire, truly admire, and they study the language and culture, and they respect the people of the land.